viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubong Usoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has approved the postings of 65 ambassador designates and high commissioners to various countries and the United Nations, with former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode assigned to Germany and Presidential aide Reno Omokri to Mexico. The social advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who signed the statements announcing the postings, disclosed that 34 non-career and 31 career ambassadors have been assigned to their duty posts. Among the high-profile non-career appointees are former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambozo, who will serve in Beijing, that's China, while Senator Jumo Ibrahim has been designated as Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations. Other prominent postings include Senator Itaina, posted to South Africa, former Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, posted to Spain, former Minister of Health Professor Isaac Adewale, posted to Canada, and Lateef Kayode, the United States, among others. The federal government has intensified efforts to curb certificate fraud by tightening the verification of academic records across tertiary institutions. This is part of broader reforms aimed at strengthening the integrity and credibility of Nigeria's education system. The step follows reports that Nigerians had obtained questionable degrees from unaccredited institutions abroad. The federal government reiterated its commitment to strengthening the integrity of academic records and improving institutional compliance across the education sector. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wide Shuaibu, has acknowledged the enormous support of Benue State government to the Nigerian military in fighting different forms of insecurity and its efforts at sustaining peace in troubled communities. The Army boss acknowledged this when he was received at the Government House in his operational visit to the state. He called for more synergy to stem the tide of security breaches. Global Television correspondent Felicity Ndere brings us the report.
It is the operational visit of the Chief of Army Staff to military formation in Benue State, and the Army Chief is at the Government House to visit the Chief Security Officer of the state. The 25th Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, disclosed that his visit is to assess the operational readiness and challenges of troops and battalions for necessary actions. Lieutenant General Shuaibu appreciated the support of the state government to troops deployed to the state in terms of facilities and equipment, provision of operational vehicles and drones, as well as scholarships for families of fallen heroes.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has approved the upsurge of troops. Over 28,000 troops will be recruited and trained within this period, the one-year period. And once that they are graduating, we are organizing them into battalions and deploying them accordingly to improve the security.
While appreciating the robust relationship between the state and the Nigerian Army, State Governor Hyacinth Alia also commended the immeasurable support of the federal government, which has translated to the successes and relative peace being experienced in the state. Acknowledging the pivotal role of intelligence in fighting insecurity, the governor reiterated his call on people of the state to always provide timely and useful information to security agents for prompt attention.
We would like the collaboration just to be intensified some more. It remains our hope also to keep supporting members of our fallen heroes.
He expressed optimism that with the intensified onslaught on bandits and insurgents, the displaced person will return to their ancestral communities to resume their livelihood.
The Nigeria Police Force has announced that the physical and credential screening exercise for applicants seeking recruitment as police constables will commence in Kebbi State on March 9, 2026. The Kebbi State Police Command said the exercise would run from March 9 to April 18, 2026 at the police headquarters in Breni, Kebbi. In a statement issued by the police public relations officer Basha Usman, the command urged applicants to visit the recruitment portal to check the application status and print their invitation slips ahead of the screening dates. According to the statement, candidates are expected to appear at the screening venue on the specific dates and time indicated on the invitation slips. The Nigerian Army has urged the youth in Abia and other southeast states to answer a national clarion call by joining the Nigerian Army to serve the nation. The call was made in Umuahia during the first edition of an awareness campaign organized by the Department of Civil Military Affairs, Nigerian Army for Youth, traditional rulers and other civil society groups. The guest speaker at the program, Major General Gold Chibusi, retired, who delivered a lecture, encouraged the youth of the Southeast to stop shunning the Army service, but to embrace career opportunities in the Army in fields of medicine, law, engineering, and other areas. The Oba of Benin, Omo no Oba Edo Huku Apolopolo Oba Ewere II, has assured the Nigerian Army of the support of the Benin Palace in strengthening ongoing military operations within the kingdom. The monarch gave the assurance when the commander of the 4th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Ahmed Balogun, paid him a courtesy visit at his royal palace in Benin City. The Oba commended the brigade commander and the personnel of the Nigerian Army for their efforts in safeguarding law-abiding citizens in Edo State. He also prayed for the continued protection and safety of the troops as they carried out their duties professionally. A Deputy Inspector General of Police, Frank Mba, alongside several other senior officers, will be retiring from the Nigerian Police Force following the recent changes in the leadership of the force. This is just as 7 Assistant Inspector General of Police have been selected for promotion to the rank of Deputy Inspector General of Police. The exit of Mba and other DIGs followed the exit of a former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ebetoku, and the confirmation of Tunji Disu as a new Inspector General of Police. Disu was sworn in on Wednesday as the 23rd indigenous IGP. The U.S. Embassy in Nigeria has announced the temporary closure of its Abuja office for routine business due to the potential protests in the city. This was disclosed by the U.S. mission in Nigeria. According to a post, the closure will last until Monday, March 9, 2026, affecting both visa and American citizen services appointments. The Emir of Zazu, Nuhu Bamali, former Kaduna State Governor Ramala Hero, and the Commissioner for Information Ahmed Mayaki has called for peace and religious tolerance at the annual Ramadan lecture organized by Kaduna State Media Corporation. The monarch urged Nigerians to accommodate one another irrespective of religious differences, stressing tolerance remains the bedrock of progress and stability. The cleric urged Northerners to close ranks in confronting challenges facing the region instead of allowing divisions to fester. A former governor of Bayelsa State and prominent member of the People's Democratic Party, Henry Seriake Dixon, has announced his resignation from the PDP and declared his membership of the Nigeria Democratic Congress. Our correspondent brings us that report.
Seriake Dixon has stated that he is now a member of a newly registered party, the National Democratic Congress, and has also been appointed the national leader of the party. He added that he played a major role in the process that led to the creation of the NDC. He explained that his decision was driven by the need to preserve Nigeria's democratic space and prevent the country from becoming a one-party state.
This great party that offered us everything, unfortunately, may not be in a position to be competitive.
According to him, joining the ruling All Progressive Congress was never an option. citing concerns over the party's handling of national security, the economy, and what he described as disregard for Nigeria's diversity. Dickson also criticized the rejection of key electoral reforms and warned that Nigeria's democratic liberties must be protected. He said the Nigeria Democratic Congress would focus on key priorities including national security, economic growth, education, and health care.
We now have the newest party in Nigeria known as the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. And our symbol is victory, the victory sign. The victory sign. You now have a credible alternative opposition party.
The former governor also noted that the party would promote judicial independence, a free press, and adherence to the rule of law.
The federal government says Nigeria's agricultural reforms are beginning to yield results as efforts intensify to strengthen food security and boost local production. This was the focus of the 2026 Ministerial Stakeholders Engagement on Agricultural Transformation held in Abuja. Government officials and industry players reviewed progress in the sector and mapped out strategies for sustainable growth. Aneta Patrick reports.
Opening the engagement, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the administration is prioritizing food security as a key pillar of national stability and economic growth. Kyari noted that government interventions across major agricultural value chains are helping farmers increase productivity, reduce losses, and improve incomes. The minister also highlighted several programs implemented over the past 2 years, including fertilizer distribution to nearly 1 million farmers, the deployment of tractors under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Program, and the expansion of value chains in crops such as rice, maize, cassava, cocoa, and oil palm. He added that the ministry is working to expand mechanization, provide improved seeds and inputs, and strengthen agricultural infrastructure across the country.
The provision of high-quality seeds, agrochemicals, safety kits, pest and disease management packs, coupled with capacity-building initiatives undertaken in years 2024 and 2025, has significantly bolstered our agricultural value chains.
Also speaking at the forum, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the engagement reflects the government's commitment to transparency and inclusive governance under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. He explained that keeping citizens informed about policies and programs while receiving feedback from stakeholders is crucial to strengthening democratic governance and policy.
These reforms, therefore, have laid a durable foundation for inclusive economic expansion. For those who are in doubt, we're seeing that today, for the first time in about 13 years, our foreign reserve has crossed the $50 billion mark.
Stakeholders at the retreat say sustaining investments, innovation and partnerships will be crucial in achieving long-term food security and positioning Nigeria's agriculture for global competitiveness.
Price is too low. The farmers may not go for maize farming next year. The maize, but the uptakers, that is the industries, are not picking at the production cost.
I came with a lot of questions and frustrations, and after listening to the issues they raised, the ministries, the two ministries, they have done so much.
The farmers in the rural area, I'm from Sokoto State, one of the most affected. I think we just develop a way of adapted to the situation.
With rising demand for food and global pressure on local production, stakeholders say the time for action is now. For Nigeria, strengthening agriculture is not just about feeding the nation, it is about securing the future. Aneta Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
The Kebbi State Governor, Nazir Idris, has intensified efforts to boost food production and strengthen grassroots welfare with the rollout of massive agricultural support and Ramadan palliatives across the state, even as they consolidated its leadership of the All Progressive Congress. The latest intervention was flagged up by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, who commended the governor's commitment to agricultural transformation and rural empowerment. Meanwhile, at the Kebbi State APC Congress, 30 members of the State Executive Committee emerged through what party stakeholders described as a transparent and rancor-free progress. The new executive is chaired by Abubakar Kana Zuru. The peaceful outcome of the Congress has been widely attributed to Governor Idris' leadership style and effort at fostering unity within the party. You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. AM News continues after this weather forecast. We'll come back with business, foreign, and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please, just stay with us.
Good to have you with us. Here's what we expect as we head into Saturday. Much of the northern and the north-central region will experience sunshine with a bit of haziness. However, parts of Benue, Kogi, and Kwara State may see patches of cloud cover. Similar cloudy conditions are also expected across parts of the southern region of the country. There's a slight chance of rainfall during the afternoon and evening hours, mainly affecting parts of Osun, Oyo, Ogun, Ekiti, Edo, Lagos, Delta, Bayelsa, and Rivers State. Although rainfall chances remain relatively low. Across the country, thermal discomfort levels are expected to increase, with temperatures mostly reaching their upper 30s. These warm conditions are likely to persist throughout the weekend. Residents are advised to wear light clothing where possible and stay well hydrated. And that's it from here. Do join us again.
Now to business. The federal government has stressed the need for continued support in projecting government reforms and promoting Nigeria as an attractive investment destination globally. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known while receiving the Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, during a courtesy visit at the Ministry of Information in Abuja. Sadiatu Gaba reports.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria's economic reform agenda under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is beginning to show measurable results, as effective communication remains key to the success of the administration's economic reforms. He noted that the government is taking decisive steps to strengthen critical infrastructure needed for industrialization, including reforms in the power sector aimed at providing more reliable electricity for businesses and industries.
All the economic reforms that the president has instituted, we're seeing them already bearing fruit. And like my colleague in my counterpart in the Ministry of Finance has always said that the economy has turned the corner, and the president has also consistently said that we are seeing the light. We are seeing the tunnel, we are also seeing the light, meaning that we are seeing where the destination is.
Earlier, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, said the visit was to strengthen collaboration with the Ministry of Information and National Orientation in amplifying the ministry's programs and policy direction. She noted that the ministry is focused on boosting industrialization, expanding trade opportunities, and increasing non-oil exports to drive economic transformation. Dr. Oduwole added that efforts are also underway to unlock global and regional demand for Nigerian products, strengthen domestic industrial capacity, and attract strategic investments into key sectors of the economy.
We've achieved quite a bit in terms of reforms. We've achieved stabilization of the economy. Mr. President's reforms have had quite some impact. Last year was an inflection point, and we wanted to tell you just succinctly at a high level what the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment will be focusing on.
The renewed collaboration between the two ministries is expected to strengthen public awareness of government reforms while promoting Nigeria's economic opportunities to investment at home and abroad. Saadatu Garba, Global TV News, Abuja.
South Korea struck a deal to ship around 4 million barrels of oil from the United Arab Emirates, blustering supplies as the U.S.-Israel war on Iran upends energy markets. Iran claims it is now in control of the crucial Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf choke point through which a fifth of the world's crude oil flows. Heavily reliant on oil shipped through the strait, South Korea said it has dispatched tankers to secure alternative supplies of fuel. South Korea is the fourth largest importer of crude oil in the world, according to the U.S. government's figure. About 70% of crude oil in South Korea imports passes through the Strait of Hormuz, according to the government. Let's go to the foreign scene now. A group of 43 Ugandan students have spoken of their trauma after fleeing the U.S. and Israeli bombing campaign in Iran and returning to Uganda. Some Ugandan students, however, choose to stay despite the offer of return from their government. Zara Nasty reports.
The Ugandan ambassador organized their escape by bus to the Turkish border and then on to Istanbul, where they caught a flight home. Sharon Twin, who had been studying international relations at Ahlul Bayt International University in Tehran when the war started, told reporters at Etembe International Airport in Uganda that it was scary and traumatizing.
Still traumatized. I'm still traumatized. Yes, I love to study. I love to study. I love to practice what I would earn from Iran, but I think I will have to get therapy first.
Another of the students, Oscar Inyagyema, said a site near their university was hit by an airstrike. Despite the trauma, Inyagyema said he will return to finish his program in Iran as soon as possible.
Our university, there's a site near our university where a site was hit. We could see the birds fly, we could hear the ground trembling, could hear the ground shake. We're all scared, we're all feeling devastated. We really did not know whether we could make it out. Now we do not know if we go back, because truth be told, if they open the country, we are going to go back because we want to finish our programs.
However, the country's Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahra, stated that some of the students had voluntarily decided to stay back in Iran.
Government was willing to bring them back, but they remained behind. Then the other university has 53. We are trying to see how to support those ones also to return.
In the meantime, world leaders have begun calling for the escalation of hostilities among warring nations. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV.
The Middle East war has forced the World Health Organization, WHO, to suspend operations at its global emergency logistic hub in Dubai, the UN agency chief said. Tedros Ghebreyesus has warned that the impact of the conflict sparked by the US-Israeli attack on Iran on Saturday goes beyond the immediately affected countries. Operations at the WHO's logistic hub for global health emergencies in Dubai are currently on hold due to insecurity. According to reports, last year the Dubai logistic hub processed more than 500 emergency orders from 75 countries around the world. The ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran to Nigeria, Ramirez Raja, has criticized remarks by the United States President Donald Trump, suggesting that he would be involved in determining Iran's leadership following the death of the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in Saturday's attack. Raja said Iran would independently determine its leadership and political future without any foreign interference. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the ambassador stressed that Iran would not allow external influence in its domestic affairs. The latest Iranian missile barrage sparked a wave of explosions across Tel Aviv as firefighters worked to contain a blaze at a residential building near Israel's commercial hub on Friday. The blast came after Israel expanded its campaign against Hezbollah, vowing retribution against the Tehran-backed militants group for joining the conflict following the killing on Saturday of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran state broadcaster said Tehran had fired missiles against targets in the heart of Tel Aviv after Israel's military said it was working to intercept incoming Iranian fire late on Thursday. We go to sports now. The Nigeria Shooting Sports Federation is seeking stronger collaboration with the National Sports Commission to boost the development of shooting sports in the country. President of the Federation, Commodore Mohammed Shatima, led members of the board on a courtesy visit to the chairman of the commission, Malam Shehu Diko, in Abuja. He said the visit was aimed at deepening cooperation, aligning Federation's plan with the commission's mandate to grow the sport in Nigeria. Discussion focused on talent identification, grassroots participation, and creating opportunities for Nigerian athletes to compete globally. Chairman of the Commission, Shehu Diko, welcomed the initiative and reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to partnership that promotes youth empowerment and national sporting success. Nigeria's senior women's basketball team, the Tigress, has unveiled their final 12-player squad for the upcoming FIBA Women Basketball World Cup Qualifying Tournament 2026, with the list confirmed by FIBA. The squad, also announced on the team's official social media platforms, include experienced campaigners such as Ezinne Kalu, Sarah Ogoke, Ami Okonkwo, and Promise Amokarama, alongside other key players like Elizabeth Balogun, Nicole Enabasi, Victoria Macaulay, Majunatu Musa, Palas Kunaya Akbana, Rita Ibokwe, Ifunaya Okoro, and Blessing Ejiofor. The 7-time African champions will compete in the qualifying tournament scheduled for March 11 to 17 in Lyon, France, where they are set to face Colombia on the March 11. After that, games will follow with South Korea on March 12 and the Philippines on March 14, France on March 15, and Germany on March 17. That's the much you can take. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly do follow us across all social media platforms now on your screen. Please use @Global TV NG. I am Ubong Osoro. Bye for now.